All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, and thanks for joining us again today. And as you see, we got our good friend, our other brother channel, Andrew from Funnelheads. And yeah, we're talking about the Venezia, the Carnival Venezia that is on its inaugural carnival voyage. As we all know, well, at least most of us, I think, know it's not a brand new ship, but is a brand new ship to Carnival. And so we're going to be talking about that today. And Andrew and I have been, Andrew's put out several videos. A lot of them, the ones that John Heald has provided us with. And I did the same thing, creating kind of like a tour. So we've definitely been doing our research and following along in the Venezia. And there is an outside chance, I just want to share this, that Derek from Island Time, who is actually on the ship right now. Now, he just messaged me a little while ago, before Andrew and I started talking, and it's about 2 a.m. on the ship. I think it's 2 a.m. now at the start of the show. So it's really late, and tomorrow's a port day. So I'm leaning on the side that Derek won't be joining us, but I could be wrong. Hopefully he does. Like I said, he just messaged me a little while ago. So you know what? Maybe struggling to fall asleep or something like that. And he's like, you know what? Let me jump on the show. So we'll see how that goes. I want to start saying hi to everybody. So let's go through. And we had Bruce was the first to check in today from Ocean to Ocean Travel. Remember, his show follows mine every Tuesday. So when this show is over, if you want to go check out Bruce, they usually do a bunch of fun activities and games and things like that. And then we got Cruise Nuts is checking back in. Good to see you all again. And Frankie Floyd is usually a regular, and he always usually gets us started off on the right track. We got Z back in the house. That is now Z's Gaming and Home Theater channel. And Z, let us know how close. I know you're getting close to 1,000. Or you were sneaking up on that. So I'm curious how that's going. And Yoli is here. Yoli was just in town with Andrew and their friends, Jordan and Andrea. And we all caught a Cub game together. We had a good time, except for the Cubs losing. That part wasn't good. But we got Nick here. We got Nick Norell is here. What's going on, Nick? We got Michael Allen. Tim G is back. Good to see you back again, Tim. I know we missed you last week. We got Eric from North Shore Travelers, and he's got some merch that he's working on. He was showing me he's got a really, really cool logo design that, for his channel that he just put together. And we're almost caught up. Oh, we got Randacita. Randacita is here. And let me look and see if I see anybody else. You know what? That looks like Elsa from Frozen. Is that Elsa from Frozen? No, I know who that is. That's Naya. Hello, Naya. How are you doing? Naya is the granddaughter of Yoli, and she is dressed up in a Elsa from Frozen dress, white and purple, looks like, or white and blue, white and purple. Yeah, purple. So how you doing, Naya? And I'm glad you joined us again. So yeah, let's get on with the show and look at this. Tim G is already getting us rolling. You beat Frankie to the punch this week, Tim. So we had North Shore Travelers. That is Eric. He is carrying over from the week before. So he was numbers 1 and 2. So Tim G is going to be 3 through 12. And thank you so much for that, Tim. And anybody new to the channel, before we get talking about the Venezia, how we do the super chats is once we reach $100 worth of super chats, then I do a random drawing on my phone. I say, hey, Siri, give me a random number 1 through 100. And she squirts out a number. And whatever number, that's why I just gave Tim numbers 3 through 12. So when we do get to 100, if by chance I call a number 3 through 12, then Tim would win the Coach Crew shirt. I got one of the Coach Crew shirts on. And look at that. Andrew wore Coach Crew shirt for us today as well. And look at that. We got Bruce from Ocean to Ocean Travel. Let me get your name down there, Bruce. I super appreciate that, my friend. And you are numbers 13 through 22. That's awesome. And oh, Yoli says, let's get this up here. Naya is so excited right now.
That's
She's
so
jumping
great.
up and down. Well, yep, Naya looked great in the Elsa dress. I thought you were her, but then I had to look twice, and I'm like, no, that's Naya. All right, everybody. So we're going to talk about the Venezia, and I'm imagining some of you are tuning in because you're like, hey, I'm booked on the Venezia, and I want to hear more about it, or I'm thinking about booking the Venezia, or you're just cruise crazies or cruise nuts like we have on the in the comments there. Cruise nuts like all of us, and you just can't get enough cruising, and you're like, you know what, I want to hear about the new ship just because who knows, I might get on it. So the first thing I wanted to mention is when you first board the ship, the Venezia. Now, if you've been following along like Andrew and I, and I'm guessing many of you have, you've seen videos of the atrium. Now, the Carnival Venezia is a Vista class ship. So many of you have been on a Vista class ship, either the Carnival Vista, the Carnival Horizon, or the Carnival Panorama. Now, all three of those ships have a very similar atrium. That is, when you walk in, they have the giant LCD column going up through the middle of the bar, which is very different from the Venezia. The Venezia, in my opinion, it looks like, well, what you would expect, the Roman Colosseums or something like that to look like. It looks like a lot of marble, even though it might just be made to look like marble. It might not actually be marble, but that's what it gives the appearance of the marble columns, and then you have the golden winged lion on top of the pillars. And Andrew, I guess my question to you is, this is the question I had. I'm like, and I want to ask this in the comments as well. If you had the choice of like, okay, I'm only going to go on one cruise ship the rest of my life, and it's going to have to be, and the atrium's going to look like either the atrium in the Venezia or the atrium on one of these Vista class ships. What do you think you would appeal to you the most over the long period? We're not talking about just one cruise. We're
Yeah,
talking about
that's ooh,
over
that's
a
a hard
long
one.
period of time.
You hit me with a hard one right off the bat. It's I say it's difficult because I really like the LCD LED column. Obviously it changes throughout the day, daily. For like party atmosphere, especially like the parties in the atrium, Captain's Toast, that kind of adds to the flair. So I do enjoy that. But if I was going to spend, all of my time on one ship, I'd have to go with the Venezia atrium. I mean, it's just stunning. It's beautiful. It's very elegant. It's just that's where I would do. But what about you? What would your choice be?
No, I mean that's why, because I struggled with it.
Yeah.
Thinking about it back and forth. And first off, though, Yoli, I want to thank you. And I forgot to add, if anybody does a $15 super chat, and Yoli, by the way, your numbers are 23 through 37. So we're only 63 away. And then we got Liz jumping right in there. Thank you, Liz. So Liz, you are going to be 38 through 40, 38, 39, 40, 42. I can't add. Thank you, Liz. And Yoli, thank you. This is we're getting through the Angels Envy. We're more than halfway through now. So thank you. So shoot that one. It was good. So to the atrium, and I want everybody in the comments who has seen the atrium on the Venezia and seen the atriums in the Carnival Vista class ships with the LCD column. Okay, I'm going to give you, I would take the LCD column.
Okay.
I would take it. And it's the Venezia is beautiful. Mm-hmm. I just think that I like a little change. And the good thing about the LCD column is it changes all the time.
Right.
It might be on one color design for an hour or two or whatever, but then you get a new color. So every time you walk into that atrium on the Vista class ship, there's a chance of it being different. Now, for just awe and walking in and say, oh my God, this is beautiful, I would take the Venezia. But I'm saying if I had to, you know, be on the same ship, you know, all the time,
Yeah.
I would dislike the change a little bit more than I like overall the one look beauty. I think Venezia. I just think overall I would go with the traditional Vista class
No,
H.
yeah, that's definitely a fair answer, and I could have gone either way there. I mean, they're both have great features. I do love the sky feature on the ceiling as well in the atrium. That makes the whole kind of room pop a little bit. So I'm really excited to see it in person. Obviously, we've just seen it in videos and pictures that people have posted, but it looks amazing, and I can't wait to just walk into the atrium for the first time, because that's my favorite part of the cruise. You know, it's the cruise's beginning, and
Yeah.
you know, I still get goosebumps to this day. You know, being on so many Carnival ships, like, you know, it starts all over again.
Oh
So
yeah, no,
my favorite
absolutely.
moment.
We got Chris Kakins 135, Will G. So we only got 3 votes so far, but we have Will says he would take the LCD, so he's going with the traditional Vista class. Chris says the Venezia looks great, so I'm guessing he's saying he would prefer the Venezia. And Tim says he thinks he would take the Vista class for now. So any other thoughts, any preference? What would you choose? You know, if you only got to have one atrium for the rest of your cruise life, would you go with the LCD columns in the, you know, either the Horizon, Panorama, or Vista, or would you go with that atrium in the Venezia, which is obviously beautiful, but definitely different? Okay, and then we have Liz chiming in with the LCD, and Bruce is chiming in with the LCD. So, so yeah, it looks like I think 4 out of 5 so far, but obviously that's just a small sample size. So yeah, if anybody else has a thought, throw your comment in. And then Kevin B, he's another person I cruised with just recently. Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate you jumping on, even if it was just for a couple minutes. And yeah, yeah, thanks for saying hi, Kevin. Appreciate it. Okay. Actually, Andrew, you led me to another question that I thought of the other day, and I forgot that I wanted to ask this question. But first thing that you do, and we're going to get more into the Venezia here. When you first board the ship, as you just mentioned, you just walked in the atrium or whatever, are you going to get a drink first, or are you going to get food first? And if you get food and a drink at the same time, it counts as food. That's how we're going to separate the two.
Gotcha.
Okay, so in the comments, I want Andrew's opinion, obviously, but then I also want everybody in the comments, like, are you getting a drink before you get food? You know, because that's one of the first things I do. I'll give you mine right now. One of the first things I do, sometimes we don't even take our luggage anywhere. We roll it right to that atrium bar. It's like, what are we drinking, you know? And we get it started that way. So how are you when you
we are drink 1,000%. I mean, that's like our tradition. Me and Michelle cheers, you know, with our first drink. A lot of times it's not in the atrium though, just because the atrium bar is so busy the first day. If it looks like we can get in real quick and, you know, get in, get out with a drink, then we'll get it there. But usually we'll go up to the Lido deck and we'll go to like Red Frog or something like that. Maybe one of the back bars. But yeah, we're definitely a drink. Cheers. Okay, let's go find food.
Well, counting our votes, we are 4-4. Well, no, now it's 5-4 food. But counting our votes, it is 5-4 food. So that one is pretty split. Okay. So Kakins, Chris says, I usually drink on the way to the cruise terminal. So ready for food. And Muster wasn't on the list. Well, you know, Tim, and yeah, that's a good
that's a fair
that's
point.
a good point. Tim says Muster wasn't on the list, and we're not suggesting be one of these people that they're calling for on the intercom.
No, don't do that. We don't want the old Muster to come back.
Yeah, but I think if you got on the ship and you got a drink and that was like the first thing you did, and then you went and handled all that other stuff, I think you're safe. Like, I don't think you're going to be holding the ship up or anything like that. So Yeah, I think but Tim says, and this is cool too. And I guess a lot of it depends on, like Chris had just mentioned, he's having a drink, before he gets on the ship. So he doesn't feel the need for the drink. And look at that. Liz is jumping on here. Thank you so much. So that's 43, 52, 57. So Liz, you are now 38 through 57. That's awesome. So yeah, perfect. Okay, and then Liz also, because of that, you got me another shot, which I super appreciate. Thanks so much for that. So I'm going to get that one. Now this one I'm going to sip on a little bit. I'm going to savor this one a little bit more than shooting the last one. Okay, now we're on the topic of drinks. Cruising is fun anytime. Hello. Good to see you. We're on the topic of drinks. We have, with the Venezia, some new bars.
Yeah, I'm real excited about them too.
Yeah. And I got all these notes, everybody. I got all these notes.
She is prepared.
Let's see here. Which
okay. I gotta be honest, while you're looking through that, one of my favorite things about the Venezia is Java Blue Cafe being on the Lido deck. I don't know why that makes me so excited, but it does.
Liz says no sipping. Okay, Liz, you got it. You're buying. So
there you
go. There you go. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, that's cool. And since you mentioned that also in regards to Java Blue Cafe and coffee, one thing that strikes me about Venezia, and I guess Italians, they love their coffee, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's like 8 spots to get coffee or something like that.
Which is terrific. I mean, you think of some of the other ships and, especially if you're trying to get coffee from like 7:30 in the morning till 9:30, the line is insane all the time. And half the time we skip it just because we don't want to wait and we'll just get regular coffee. But the fact that you can get so many coffees from so many different areas is definitely a huge plus.
Right. Okay, so we have the first bar is the most controversial bar. And a lot of you probably know where I'm going with this. But there is no alchemy bar on the Venezia. Now, the alchemy bar is so popular that there are about 5 different alchemy Facebook pages out there that just are fans of the alchemy bar. And you can count me as one of those fans. So it came with a lot of, I guess, pushback when they said they weren't going to have an alchemy bar. But what they do have is this bar called Amare. Did I pronounce that right?
I think so, yep.
And what that has is they have a collection of, well, you can get some alchemy favorites. One side of the menu they have, and I have it right here. One side of the menu has some alchemy favorites, and that's why I printed these up. But you can still get the Martini Seduction, the Perfect Storm, the Remedy, the Spicy Chipotle Pineapple Martini, and the Cucumber Sunrise.
Yep.
Those are just some of the alchemy bar favorites that you can get at the Amare. Now, let me just go through some of these other drinks here and say in the comments whether you think they sound appealing or not. So you have the Negroni Spagliato, and I'm probably going to just butcher some of these pronunciations, so forgive me for you Italians out there. A sparkling variation on the classic Italian cocktail. This one's made with Campari Cinzano 1757 Vermouth di Torino and Prosecco sparkling wine. That's for $13. The non-alcoholic version is for $9.50. Then you have the Amalfi. I'm assuming that's for the Amalfi Coast in Europe, but the Amalfi Martini. is a fresh, bright, and happy like sunshine on the Amalfi Coast with Stoli citrus vodka, limoncello. It's a little blurry on my copy here. Bottega limoncino and lemon juice. Okay, so that's going to be a very lemony drink, but the Amalfi Martini. So for those of you that like lemon, you were really going to probably love that drink. And then we have the Italian Margarita. That is with the Santo Blanco tequila. That's that new tequila that they came out with that I think Sammy Hagar is a part owner of. Blood orange juice, Di Serrana, amaretto, and lime juice make for a Mexican fusion bursting with flavor. Then we have the bitter Giuseppe, a sophisticated riff on a Manhattan made bittersweet with Sonar, vermouth, lemon, and bitters. And then there's a pineapple rum Negroni. And I apologize. It does have a fresh pineapple infused Campari and Cinzano 1757 vermouth of Tonina. Okay, so that's one half of the menu, and then the other half are the alchemy favorites.
Mm-hmm.
So, do any of those drinks strike you and say, "Oh my God, yeah, that sounds really good"?
I mean, I'd like to try all of them. I'm definitely a sampler, especially with the drink package, you know. But I think the Italian margarita sounds really good. And also the pistachio martini kind of sounds very interesting. Would love to try that. It could either be something that is terrible or like the most amazing thing ever. But
now, is that at Amari?
Yeah, it's on the menu that you read, but maybe it got cut off. It's
okay. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Okay, delicately nutty and balanced with Stoli vanilla vodka, pistachio, lemon. Oh yeah. No, that does sound. And I like the combination of that one a little bit more. Like the Amalfi Martini sounded really good, but then it's just like, okay, how much lemon are you going to put in this thing?
Yeah, like I like lemon, but I don't know. I think it would just be too overpowering. But maybe it would be just really like refreshing and fresh. And I don't know. I mean, I'd definitely be open to try, any and all of them. But yeah, some of them sound really good.
Okay, and yeah, this is for the celebration because Chris knows I'm going on the celebration soon.
Oh, nice.
But he's saying, and this is true. This is one of my tips, actually. So you're giving a preview of one of my tips for this.
He's stealing thunder.
That's one of the tips I gave for the Mardi Gras too, Chris. So I appreciate that, though. And he says, no line at all. And it's usually the case. That is true. Nice. So Michael says the lemon and pineapple ones sound great. Tim says there's a couple he would try. And Liz says, love me some limoncello. The one Mediterranean cruise that we did, that was one of the huge things that was like all the touristy things is they were all selling limoncello,
Yeah.
It was just limoncello all over. Limoncello tastings here and there. And yeah, so we definitely got some limoncello. But yeah, that would be really cool to partake on the Venezia. And you know what? The more I think about it, the more I think this is a really, really good idea by Carnival, because if you have these Italian themed dining and drinks and things like that, if most of the other Carnival fleet is very different from that and they don't have those options, you may want to book the Venezia just to get that taste of Italy, whether it be by drink or by food or by both, just to get kind of that Italian experience without leaving the country. You get it on your cruise ship. And if this is the only ship that's going to be Italian dedicated, then yeah, that's a pretty good idea. So, all right, let's move on to the next bar. Now, the next bar, Frizzante. Do you have the menu handy there for Frizzante?
I can get it. Just give me one sec. But you can just
I'll read about it. So for those of you that want to know about this bar, Frizzante is a variety of bubbly drinks from Prosecco to spritzes and Bellinis are served here along with Italian beer. Authentic Italian coffees and biscotti will be served throughout the day. All right. So I've got some of their menus here, and you know, the one thing that strikes me about these menus is it's wildly different than a lot of the stuff that we're used to on most of the Carnival ships. So when I look through some of these menus, you know, these drink menus and these food menus, I'm like, oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. So there are all these things that I'm looking at, and I'm like, yeah, I would like to try that. I would like to try that. And you know, like I said, I didn't necessarily, when we first got on today, I didn't necessarily think like, oh yeah, you know, this was a brilliant idea, this Venezia. But the more we're sitting here talking about it, and then going through these drinks and the food and the different variety of things they offer, the more I'm thinking like, you know what, this is a pretty smart move on Carnival's part.
Yeah, I really like how not only with the bars, but also the food. Like they have your traditional dishes, even venues that you would see on other Carnival ships, but then each and every one of them has some type of twist of, you know, this Italian themed cruise. And yeah, like you said, it's genius. And I'm just really excited to try everything it has to offer. I mean, some of the venues, they might only have one or two changes, but it's still a change, and it's cool to try new things for sure.
And Tim G got me my next shot, and he says I can sip this one.
There you go.
He wants me to last till the end of the show. He realizes we still got 34 minutes. So.
Well, it is a celebration after all, not only for the show.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and this is, and a couple of you have said it already. And you know what? I should have led more with that or whatever. But you know, thank you everybody. You know, obviously, I think probably everybody that's in the comments here, just about everybody, is already subscribed to my channel. But if you're not, you know, please hit that subscribe button. And our brother channel here, you know, Funnel Heads with Andrew. You know, he's putting out a lot of great content, and he's pushing, you know, toward that 3,000, getting real close to that, and hopefully hits that sometime soon this early summer. Yeah. So you'd be doing him a big favor by clicking over and clicking that subscribe button on his side. But yeah, so big thank you. Just hit 4,000 today. And it's funny, I messaged Andrew last night, and I don't know what time I messaged him.
I was asleep. I saw it this morning though. After you said you were probably going to hit it, I was like, "That's awesome."
Oh, okay, but I had messaged, you know, I probably sent you a second message, but I had messaged him earlier. I don't know, it might have been 7, 8 o'clock, something like that. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm 16 away. There's a chance that we could hit this while we're on air." Yeah. And I know I mentioned to Yoli and she sent a message to her family members. Then I posted on Coach Crew's Facebook, you know, like, hey, we're getting close, whatever. And I'll tell you what, we hit 4,000 sometime this morning by around 9 a.m. my time. And it was nice to, I'm a big goal person. So the goal was to hit it before the end of May. Actually, it was to hit it today is the date I put on the ticker. As a matter of fact, I probably still have the ticker up here just to show you, so you don't think I'm making stuff up. But yeah, look at that. Goal 4,000 subscribers by May 30th. So
there you go.
And today is May 30th. So we hit it right on the head. And the next goal is going to be tougher. We're going for 5,000 by August 30th. So we got 3 months to get there. That's a lot of subscribers. That's averaging over 10 subscribers a day.
You got
it. And look at this. We got Eric from North Shore Travelers, and thank you for that, Eric. And by the way, Tim, you are 58 through 77. And then we got Eric from North Shore Travelers. You are 78.
I saw his new merchandise. It looked great, by the way.
Oh, very nice. 78 through 82. Yeah, I'm really digging that logo. You know, he bounced a couple ideas, you know, off me, and it looked really good. But North Shore Travelers says, Eric from North Shore Travelers, don't forget to hit that like button. And thank you for the congrats on that 4K, Eric. And yeah, I always forget to ask people to hit that like button. But, you know, depending on, I don't know what device you're watching this on your phone, it's the easiest. The computer's easy also. The TV is kind of tricky sometimes to navigate to that like button depending upon your remote. But Yeah.
Reminds me, I need to hit the like button.
Oh, appreciate that, Andrew.
Anything for you.
All right. All right. So let's get back to the drinks. And we talked about this is frizzante. So it's got a lot of the bubbly drinks. So we're talking Bellinis, Aperol Spritz. Now they got a lot of spritzes. They got the frizzante spritz. Okay. So the Bellini. Well, you know what? Here, Andrew, do you have the recipe there or the
I believe I have the whole menu. I at least
Okay.
have 2 or 3 pages of it. I think it's only 2 pages though, right?
Yeah. So
Okay.
why don't you go through and read through some of the ones that you like there, or you can read through all of them because I think most of them are different. You know, they're not the typical carnival ones, so people might be.
All right. So, well, I'm going to start off with saying one of my favorite drinks is on here with a little twist. I'm pretty sure you really enjoy this too, Brad, but we love doing the espresso martinis. I think you're really into that, but they have the mocha espresso martini. I'm all about that. It's one of our favorite drinks, especially kind of like a nightcap drink or whatnot. But yeah, so starting off, we got and I'm gonna butcher these names so bad. But we got the Negroni dell'Arte, a sophisticated and mysterious twist on the classic Negroni. This fiery and bold variation combines smoky Mazzal bitter, Campari, and sweet vermouth. You got a San Marco Spritz, a simple yet refreshing mix of Aperol, Prosecco, and club soda served over ice with orange slice. Experience the essence of Venice's lively San Marco Square. The Palazzo Amaro. This drink combines the mouth-coating and bittersweet taste of Averna Amaro with the sweet tang of limoncello. It is sure to transport you to the festive atmosphere of a Sicilian festival. And then to finish that section off, you have the Casanova Citrus Seduction, an alluring cocktail inspired by a legendary Venetian lover renowned for his irresistible charm, made with Stol citrus, vodka, ginger beer, and fresh basil. And I mean, a lot of those sound really good. I know Michelle would love the San Marco Spritz, and I probably would lean more towards that Casanova one at the end there. But how about you, Brad?
Well, you know what? I'm looking. So I might be looking at the wrong menu, to be honest with you, because I have. Does your menu any of them have like the ginger spritz, the Casa spritz?
I have Bellinis on one side, and then the only spritz that I see, and I might be missing a page, so I apologize if I do, but the San Marco spritz is the only one that I'm seeing, and then all the coffees, of course.
Okay, so this may or may not be from the frizzante, but they have the bicicletta, meaning bike in Italian. This cocktail is an easy drink too. It's made with Campari, Pinot Grigio wine, and club soda. And then the ginger spritz, a peppery spice of ginger balanced by a sweet wine and lightened with bubbles, ginger, Bottega liqueur, Moscato wine, and club soda. The Cassis spritz, a unique combination of black currant liqueur and an artichoke. No, I don't. I don't. That doesn't sound good to me. Artichoke. Amore, this complex and rich drink is made with creme de cassis, Cynar, and Prosecco sparkling wine. Then we have the Americano, named for its popularity among American tourists in Milan. This Campari Cinzano sweet vermouth and soda cocktail is both light and flavorful. Then we have the Limoncello Mojito, an Italian expression of the classic Cuban cocktail with limoncello, fresh mint, lime juice, and club soda. That one sounds good to me, actually. Limoncello. And then the traditional Negroni, Campari Cinzano, 1757 Vermouth de Torino, and Bulldog Gin make a winning combination for this classic 100-year-old cocktail. So was I on the right bar there, or?
I found the menu that you're looking at. I am not positive who got it wrong. It probably was me, but I apologize. I think I read a different bar, but it doesn't show the name anywhere. I just have the menu. So either way, they sound amazing. I don't know which one on that one I would lean towards the
That
most.
that limoncello mojito actually sounded pretty good. I might go with that.
Yeah, that does sound really delicious. I mean, a lot of these, I just feel like they're all going to be so refreshing. Especially walking around the ship, quenching the thirst. I mean, I'm just excited to try each and every one of them, honestly. And you can't go wrong with the Bellini, of course.
Okay, so let's change gears here for a little bit. Let's start getting into the food. Okay.
All right.
Now, let's start with a specialty restaurant that they're offering. Now, we have the steakhouse like normal. You can still get your, Fahrenheit 555 steakhouse quality meal on the Venezia. But the other specialty restaurant they have is this Viaggio. Viaggio. All right. And it is a flat charge of $42 per person. And here is the menu. They have a starter. One of the starters, for example, is crispy fried mozzarella stuffed bread, pecorino San Marzano tomato sauce. That sounds pretty good. Then you can also get the grilled octopus with artichoke, potato, olives, lemon, pesto. Then the salumi e formaggio sampler, an assortment of cold cuts and cheese, sopressata, picante, salamaria, prosciutto, bel paese. I don't know. Gargonzola. I didn't know I was going to have to pronounce it. Parmigiano. And that serves two. Then you have your soups and salads. We have the zuppa de orzo, which is a barley, vegetables, smoked ham, and Parmesan. We have the ensalada Caesar, which is basically a Caesar salad. And then we have the misticanza salad, which is baby greens, hazelnuts, shaved pecorino, prosecco vinaigrette. Now, the entrees. Here we go. You can get the pasta alla Genovese, which is ziti, slow-cooked onion, simmered beef rib, and San Marzano tomato sauce. That's one of the entrees. The next entree is the pappardelle al cinghiale. That's from Tuscany. That is ribbon pasta tossed with pork ragu, red wine marinade. The next entree is, oh, geez, caci. So it's CACCIUCCO. Cacciuco con polenta. People are gonna be laughing at me tomorrow. Campania. Okay, that's the region is Campania. That is seafood stew with soft herbed polenta. Then we have the jumbo shrimp scampi. That is from Veneto. That is garlic, pepperoncino, Pinot Grigio, lemon risotto. And then we have the sea bass from the region of Tuscany, Parmesan crust, Barlati bean stew, sauce verde, and broccoli. Then we have the chicken scarparello from Sicily, cooked with garlic, peppers, Italian sausage, rosemary, potatoes, white wine. Then we have the steak pizzaiola. That's from Lazio, wherever that is. 14-ounce strip loin, tomato sauce, olives, fingerling potatoes, roasted broccoli, and then the Grande Braciola de Miale from Sicily, grilled 14-ounce Berkshire pork chop, cannellini bean stew. And there's still signature entrees, and some of these cost more. But some of the signature entrees, we have the Pollo Parmigiana pizza, crispy chicken crust, tomato basil sauce, mozzarella, pepperoncino flakes, Parmesan, honey chili dressing, and that serves two. Then you have the Lambada Milanese, and that's from Lombardy. That is a 16-ounce bone-in veal chop, thinly pounded, lightly breaded, and pan-fried, served with mixed green salad. That's $20 additional on top of your 42.
Mhm.
And then you have the Grigliata Mista de Pesse from Sicily. That is lobster tails, scallops, sea bass, colossal shrimp, oysters, citrus butter, garlic, ciabatta. But that is $40 additional. So it'd really be like $62 per person. That sounds pretty amazing, but that's
Yeah,
$62 per person also.
right.
Yeah.
So the
Well,
real question is, if you ate there, what would you order?
you know what? That last thing sounded amazing. I don't know if I want to pay $62 a person though.
Yeah.
But lobster tails, scallops, sea bass, colossal shrimp, oysters. I mean, that is a pretty impressive. You know what? I probably would go there and I would probably order that at least one time and order that.
Right. To try it. Yeah.
Because that, I mean, that is like some of the heavyweight seafoods. They're all in one, and you get to share that, you know. So, I mean, I've done a chef's table, and honestly, that's more money. That'd be like $200 per person, and this is less than that, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, by almost $80 or $75. So I think, yeah, I would definitely try out that. Which of those would you go for?
I mean, I guess if I was going for one of the, well, not free, but one of the ones that are included in that $40 price tag, I might go for either the ziti with the slow cooked onion, that first one, the pasta alla genovese, or I might go with the Berkshire pork chop. That sounds amazing. And then for dessert, definitely the cannoli, 100% with the
oh yeah, I didn't
chips,
even think of
chocolate
dessert.
chips. It looks really good. I mean, all of the desserts look good, but I feel like you have to do cannoli if you're eating at an Italian restaurant.
Well, yeah, let's see from everybody that's in the chat, which dessert would you choose out of these? There's 4 of them. So I'll read through them all. So you have the cannoli, as Andrew said, that would be automatic for him. But that is crunchy shells, ricotta cheese, marsala wine, and chocolate chips. The next dessert is the torta della nonna. That is a classic custard tart, almond and lemon crust. Then we have the traditional tiramisu, which is espresso and mascarpone cream. And then we have the mile high gelato pie from Tuscany, salted caramel, mocha, toasted coconut, and chantilly cream, which I'll tell you what, that last one,
That's
that one sounded pretty good. I might go with that. I might have to go with the mile high gelato pie. That sounded pretty good. So we got 2 votes right out of the gate for tiramisu from
nice.
Liz
There you go.
and Michael. Any other votes for the dessert there? Dwayne says, my wife and Terry and I will be on the Venezia for 15 days on September 29th. Oh, yeah, for sure. Thanks on focusing on the Venezia tonight. We have been watching an Island Time video. Ship looks great. Yes, and I'm glad, Dwayne, thank you for mentioning that. As I mentioned at the start of the show, Derek and Amanda from Island Time, they are actually on the Venezia. They have put out 2 or 3 videos already. They're going to be putting out daily vlogs on the Venezia. The celebration, the embarkation video was fabulous. I watched that the other day, and I just watched their day 1 and 2 vlogs today as well. So yeah, if you haven't checked out Island Time and you want to learn more about the Venezia, go check them out, and you will be happy you did. Tim says second choice and 4th. So he's going with the torta della nonna. That's the classic custard tart, the almond lemon crust, and the mile high gelato pie. So yeah, you and I are thinking along the same there. Tiramisu, there's still, tiramisu is that traditional dessert that the thing I like about the tiramisu is it's not too sweet. It's got just a little bit of sweetness. It's not too heavy. So I understand why people like a good tiramisu. So that makes sense. Any other dessert choices by anybody here before we move on? I did want to get to some more food here. And let me find. Oh, here we go. I got papers everywhere. So here's some of the dining venues. We didn't cover them all here, but we have Guy's Burger Joint, and we're going to get into Guy's Burger Joint here right away because they changed. They added a couple burgers. They added a couple burgers. We got to talk about these burgers. And well, they're not really burgers, so I don't even know if I can call them burgers. But in addition to the Guy's Burger Joint, we have, and I'll tell you what, some of these food choices are money, and we have to talk about these before we end tonight. But they have the La Strada Grill. This street food-esque venue will serve salads, grilled meats, and sandwiches. Then we have the Tomodoro that is standing in the place of the Blue Iguana Cantina. So if you get on this Venezia and you're like, where's my Blue Iguana Cantina? I want my tacos. I want my burrito. And you're looking around, you're not going to find it because the Tomodoro has taken its spot. But don't get too upset. Let me read the description here. Standing in place of the Blue Iguana Cantina on other Carnival ships, Mexican-Italian fusion restaurant, Tomodoro will feature ingredients such as Italian meatballs and Sicilian rotisserie chicken alongside traditional Mexican tacos and burritos. It will be open for breakfast and lunch. Okay. Then we have the Canal Grande and Marco Polo restaurants. Those are going to be your sit down, like the MDR main dining room restaurants. One thing I want to say really quick about the Marco Polo restaurants. All of the Carnival ships, and at least in the Vista class, they have that open concept, where everything is open. It's just one big giant open dining room. And, you could probably go in there if you cleared out all the tables and play baseball or something, But this Marco Polo restaurant, what struck me about that is there's a lot of walls. Yeah. There's a lot of little walls separating individual tables and things like that. And I don't know if that's an Italian thing. Does anybody know? Do you know, Andrew? Is that more of an Italian thing where they like to kind of be separate from people, or?
I don't know. I mean, I'm Italian, and when I think of Italian and eating, I think of like family sharing plates and sharing dishes and stuff. So not necessarily, but I do like it. The design of it and all the different statues, artwork in there. I mean, it's a very pretty spot. I really enjoy the Canal Grande with the gondola in the center. I think that's so unique, and you have that archway and everything. So they're very different from the other Carnival ships, but I'm excited to just get in there and see it, for myself. Yeah. So I think that, it being different is not a problem at all.
No, and you know what? Going back to that first question I asked to open the show, like if you had to pick dining rooms that you would want to be your permanent dining room, if you only got one choice as far as cruising goes, which would you go? I would probably go with these Venezia dining rooms because the Carnival Vista dining rooms are beautiful, but it's mostly like the chandeliers and things like that as you look, from afar. Whereas the Venezia dining rooms, they have artwork and things like that, all around. Like there's eye candy to look at, it looks like little buildings and little homes and just charming. And then, like, as you mentioned, the gondola in the middle of the floor of the Canal Grande or whatever. So yeah, I would probably choose the dining rooms of the Venezia over the traditional Vista class ships.
I'd agree with that for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So then we have the Italian restaurant that we just talked about. We have the steakhouse. Okay. So let's get into this Guy's Burger. Let me read you the two new burgers or sandwiches that you can get at Guy's Burger. Now, going back to Derek from Island Time, on his inauguration or embarkation video, at the very end of the video, he goes to Guy's Burger and he gets one of these new pepperoni pizza burgers. All right, now here's what's on it. Fried mozzarella, pepperoni marinara, crispy strips. What's the SMC stand for again?
Melty cheese.
Oh, super melty cheese. Okay. Provolone, aged Parmesan, and donkey sauce. Now, you know, and that's one of the things Derek and I talked about when he messaged me before the show started. And because I had asked him, you know, how was that burger? You know, I was curious, and he said it was amazing. He said
Really?
that pepperoni burger was amazing. I wasn't sure it was going to be. Now,
Yeah.
the one thing that struck me, if you go and watch his video, it seemed to take forever to make that burger.
Oh,
You know,
really?
I don't know if he took his time because there wasn't a long line, and so you know he took his time making the burger just real pretty or whatever. But the thing that struck me is I'm like, there's no way that they're going to introduce this burger across the fleet because it takes too long to make. The guy
Yeah.
spent like a minute and a half making this burger.
Mhm.
And we've all been to Guy's Burgers. Well, those of us that aren't vegetarians, at least. And, you know, I mean, they're very quick about making these burgers. Boom, 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 boom. You know, and then here's your burger because they
Yeah.
got to keep the line moving because the lines are so long. So that is one thing that struck me. If you watch that, yeah, Dwayne is saying, you know, the burger that I just read off is, yeah, it does. And I'll tell you what, Dwayne, that is the first burger that I would try as well. Now, the other sandwich that is new to Guy's Burger on the Venezia is the super melty moots. And that is super, or what'd you say, super melty cheese, or is that what?
Yeah, super melty cheese, SMC.
Super melty cheese, fresh mozzarella. I've had a few shots now, so I'm
Oh yeah, you're good.
super melty cheese, fresh mozzarella, diced tomato, balsamic, fried basil, and donkey sauce. All right, now that one almost sounds healthy. So I think if I'm choosing between the two new burgers, I'm definitely going with the pepperoni pizza burger. But if I'm looking for a little more light, refreshing, I might go with these super melty moots. But do either of those really appeal to you, Andrew?
Yeah, they both sound really nice, honestly. I mean, I could see myself eating both of those regularly. I would definitely try the pepperoni pizza burger first, but I mean, I love mozzarella, balsamic. I have nearly every day. Fried basil has me, wondering what that tastes like. So yeah, it sounds good. So I'm excited to try both of those.
Hey, real quick before we go on, because I always like to give away at least one shirt of the show. We are at 82 in the super chats. So if we get 18 more in super chats before the end of the show, we got about 10 minutes, then we will be able to do our shirt drawing. But that's the one thing about the super chats. Remember, if you do a super chat, just like Eric from North Shore Travels, he had numbers 1 and 2, and that carried over for like 2 weeks. So no matter what, you will be in the drawing until we draw for the shirt, on the numbers that you did a super chat on. So if we don't do a drawing today, next week, which will be my last in the studio here show, because the week after next week, I'll be on the Carnival celebration. So yeah, so we'll definitely, if we don't give away the shirt today, we'll definitely give it away next week. Because like I say, we are only 18 away. So if you're thinking about doing a super chat and a couple other people, we will knock out that 18 and get there. All right. So in the comments, is this pepperoni pizza burger or the other one I mentioned, which is what did I say it was? The super melty moots. The super melty moots. Are those burgers must tries for? Do either one of those sound like, oh my god, yeah, I have to get this if I'm on the? I know Dwayne said, yeah, that he thinks it sounds awesome. What's anybody else's thoughts? And Andrew, is that the first burger you're getting if you get on the Venezia?
Yeah, I would do the pepperoni burger for sure. That would be my number one burger that I was getting. I did want to ask you too. I don't want to change it up on you, but before we end, we don't have to talk about it right now. But I wanted to ask what your thoughts are on the Terrazza Carnival section.
Yes,
especially because I know that you love Havana. Is it a cabin that you would actually look to book on a ship like this, because it is missing some key features?
See, then this is why I ask Andrew on to keep us on the powerful questions here. So for those of you that don't know, maybe you've never been on a Vista class ship. So one of the coolest parts about a Vista class ship, if you book it, if you don't book it, obviously it's not that cool because you're not going to experience it. But the Havana area on the Vista class ships, now we're talking about the Carnival Vista, the Carnival Horizon, the Carnival Panorama. They have this area that a limited number of rooms called the Havana area have access to. And what is back there is a nice sized pool and 2 hot tubs. Additionally, you have an outside bar. So it's like you have your own private bar, you have your own pool, you have your 2 hot tubs that you share with a small amount of people, not an overwhelming amount of people, just the right amount of people, I like to say. And you have your own outside bar. Now,
and no kids.
Yeah. Somebody was saying that kids could be there, but they had to be 12 or older. But I guess I did see some kids that were kind of young, but for the most part, I never see kids back there. But I did see a couple.
It might be 12. I'm not positive on that, but I know it's not. You definitely no small children. So, but
yeah, I think people feel awkward like bringing kids, even if they're 12 or over back there because it's mostly adults. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's great because, like if you go to the pools and the other areas, decks of the Carnival, it's really crowded a lot of times. I mean, it's not a lot of room in the pool. It's just packed if it's a really hot day. Loungers are almost impossible to get, by the pool because people hoard them and hog them up the whole day and things like that. And now the Havana area, like I say, there's usually enough loungers for you to not have to fight for one. You can usually go out there and get one without having to fight. They have day beds out there. They have your own towel hut. Like I say, you have your own private bar. So it's awesome, but you pay a premium. You do pay a premium. They're not near as the same price as the rest of the rooms. You're paying a significant upcharge to get back in this area. Now, the Carnival Venezia has almost the identical area, the same type cabanas. They even have a hammock in the Carnival Venezia, whereas you don't have a hammock on the other Carnival Vista ships. If you're in the cabana, that is. And you have all the other offerings, except there's no pool. There's no pool. That's a major one. There's no pool. They did add a couple hot tubs, I guess.
Yep.
And the other thing is they're opening it up, that back area that was private to you, private on all the other Carnival Vista class ships. They're opening that up in the evenings.
Yep.
So if you're paying the same type of upcharge that they're charging on, the regular Vista class ships, and you don't have that exclusive area to yourself all the time that you're there, and you don't have a pool, which is major for me, in the summer, because like I said, that the pool's kind of the best part because you don't, it's not crowded and you don't feel, I don't know, like sometimes you don't even want to go to those other pools because they're just so crowded and crazy and everything else like that. So, I mean, I don't know. How do you feel? The one thing I will say about this, the one thing I really like about it is from a full ship standpoint, I like the fact that if you're not booked back there, you have this beautiful area opened up to you at night.
Mm-hmm.
So 85% of the ship that normally wouldn't have access to that now has access to it. So if I'm not booked in the Havana area and now all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, let's go to Havana. There, we can go out on deck 5 and overlook the water from a lower vantage point. There's a nice bar back there. I think from that perspective, if you're not booked in Havana, it's great.
Yeah, of course.
So it's a bonus. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I wouldn't look to book those rooms. I'll have to be honest. I mean, the whole point of, Havana is having that, the pool to yourself, the bars, the lounge chairs. It's the convenience of having that spot and, not have the pool and then also to be open, for all guests, at night. I don't feel like paying a premium would be worth it, but that's just me. I'm sure there are people that are going to be looking at that as an option. I will say, leaving from New York, of course, beautiful. I don't know if you've done that before, but having that section, as you're leaving New York with the skyline and everything, I mean, that would be tremendous. But other than that, I just don't see the value. I would have loved to see too, maybe not a pool, but maybe like a large hot tub or something like that. But it just needs more for that premium. And I don't know if it's the same price. I haven't really looked into it too much. But I would imagine it's very similar as far as the Havana room. So, but for me, it would be a no-go.
Yeah. And I agree. So like they do have a Havana area on the XL class. And actually, we got Have Luggage Will Travel. Let me say hi to a couple more people. We have Tom. He chimed in on the pepperoni. He agrees it takes a long time to grate that Parmesan. So I don't think they're going to keep doing all that. They're going to just sprinkle on Parmesan or something. And we got Rayleigh Creative Travel here. Then we got Have Luggage Will Travel that was just on the Carnival celebration, which I'm going to touch on in just a bit. And Tim says, what's the difference from the Serenity deck? And yeah, we can touch on that real quick too, Tim. But the Havana area on the XL class that Have Luggage Will Travel just came off, and Andrew knows this as well. Mm-hmm. They just have a little tiny pool off in the corner. It's like a kiddie pool almost. It's not even deep.
I literally thought it was a hot tub when I saw it. I didn't think it was an actual pool. And when I found out, I was like, they can't be serious.
Yeah. So, I mean, people that have booked the Havana area on the Vista class ships, if they booked the Havana area going on to, say, the Mardi Gras, the celebration, thinking like, ooh, we got the Havana area. This is going to be awesome. Yeah. You are going to be disappointed. Yeah. I'm sorry, but you are going to be flat out disappointed, especially if you paid a big upcharge to get into that Havana area, because it is not the same.
And there's not even really, like, with the Vista class, there's not even counting the pool and all that, but like there's room. It's like a mini Lido deck. There's room to like hang out and talk to people and convert. But on the Mardi Gras and celebration, and I'm sure it's going to be the same on Jubilee, like there's a few loungers and then you have your chairs outside your, door, your patio, but there's no place to really like hang out and just together. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. But
no, yeah. So, I mean, there's so many things. And I know it sounded like, Amanda and Josh with Have Luggage Will Travel. I watched a couple of their videos. It sounded like they really enjoyed the celebration. I know they'd been on the Mardi Gras as well. Mm-hmm. And obviously you've been on the Mardi Gras and I have. Yeah. It sounded like they really, really enjoyed it. But that is one area that I would say on the XL class that they didn't succeed at. No. Especially when you compare it to the Vista class ships. They did not succeed in matching the love of the Havana area. And I think this Venezia, again, it's slightly better than the XL class, I guess. If you're booking.
Yeah. I mean, at least there's room. The viewpoint. It's not too much better, but
right. and see, I think when people go to book. And, Carnival's going to find this out. They're going to put those rooms up for sale, and they'll probably try to charge as much as they can because, they're a business. So, of course, you're going to do that. But they're not going to sell because people are not going to pay as much money for the Havana area on these ships as they would on the Vista class because it's not the same experience.
They'll just enjoy it at night.
Yeah. And Have Luggage Will Travel says, Havana, super small. Love the ship overall. Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to be on June 11th. So I'm trailing right after you guys. And then, so Tim had asked about the Serenity deck. Now, Tim, the Serenity deck on the Venezia, from what I've seen, and Andrew, you tell me if you notice something different. It's pretty much the same. The furniture is different. I would say it's a little bit more elegant, a little bit more Italian style. I think they strike me as a little bit smaller, the furniture and things like that, but there's flowers up there and things like that. I would say the decor is a little more classy than not to say that the Serenity deck on the other ships looks bad by any means, but it just seems like they're trying to go for a little more refined look on the Serenity deck of the Venezia than on the other Vista class ships. What would you say about that, Andrew?
Yeah, exactly what you said. Unfortunately, there's no pool up there though either. So it's almost like, and I think this might be what Tim was asking too, is what's the difference from the Serenity deck to the Terrazza Carnival? Really nothing, honestly. I mean, it's an adults only area, but the Serenity deck is free. You get a better vantage point, of course, you know, being lower down, but very similar area. You got 2 hot tubs in both areas, no pool. Yeah, it is a little strange, but I'm sure some people will enjoy it.
Okay, we're running a little long, but I did want to touch on this too, because you and I both had this as one of our lower ranked food choices on the Carnival fleet, and that is the barbecue. The guys' barbecue, Sea Day barbecue. We're not big fans of it. It's gone down in quality over the years. So they replaced that on the Venezia. I'm sure, you know, like I said, Andrew is like,
it's probably from our feedback, right?
good choice there to replace that. But that is the La Strada Grill. So what would have been your guys' Sea Day barbecue spot is now the La Strada Grill. So instead of getting your traditional barbecue stuff, they have sandwiches. So you could get an Italian meatball hoagie, fresh marinara sauce, melted mozzarella, the pork porchetta, mortadella, smoked Gouda, sun-dried tomato slaw sandwich roll. Now, they do still have barbecue, so it's kind of like they get you a little bit of that too, but they have slow-cooked chicken. They have Italian sausage with grilled onions, mushroom, and peppers. They have mac and cheese. They have some more sandwiches, the Sicilian Chicken Hero, which is a pepperonata, mustard, aioli, and melted cheese. They got roast beef on a roll with salami, salsa verde, provolone, caramelized onion, and tangy. I'm sorry, but this sounds awesome. This sounds so much better.
No, yeah, 100%. I'm excited to hear what people's feedback is of how the food actually tastes, but the menu and the options itself, I mean, are home run, but hopefully the quality's there, which I'm sure it will be.
Not only that, but they have salads. They have a panzanella that's sourdough bread, tomato, basil vinaigrette. They have a quinoa and chickpea. They have a new potato and pickle. They got a Caesar salad, and then they have Italian farm salad. They have sides of buttered corn, marinated summer vegetables, baked beans, and grilled garlic bread. And then they still have some barbecue. They, like I said, they have the Italian sausage, sweet sausage, marinara sauce, Parmesan, smoked pulled pork, mac and cheese. Right? So that's the La Strada Grill taking the place of the So, you know, I guess to wrap it up and you know, I would really be, I'm definitely going to be happy to go on the Venezia the first time I do. I don't know when that's going to be. I've got a lot of cruises booked for the future or whatever, but when I do go, there's a lot of things to look forward to if you were booked on the Venezia, from the food to the drinks to the different venues. Something I didn't even touch on is the entertainment, the playlist productions. Real quick on that. The shows are for the playlist productions are Color My World. And that will be only the second ship in the fleet to feature this brand new show, which debuted on the Carnival Celebration last month. The indie rock and pop love story combines different art mediums to create a visually stunning experience, and it will feature an artist painting live on stage. And Have Luggage Will Travel. Did you all go see that show, Color My World? And then we have Broadway Beats. This show connects the audience to this ship's home port with a larger-than-life journey through New York City. We got Vintage Pop. I really enjoy that on the Carnival Horizon. The modern musical features a 20-spin tying in with New York's Prohibition era. And then we have Epic Rock. This show features rock staples from artists like Journey, Aerosmith, and Bon Jovi. They still have the Camp Ocean and Club O2 and all those teen clubs. Sports Square, you know, all the things that you're used to on the Carnival Vista. So those are some of the other things. I think we touched on a little bit of most everything. Is there anything that we missed that you wanted to touch on, Andrew, and your overall thoughts of the Venezia?
No, I mean, we hit a little bit of everywhere. I'm sure I mean, if we have time in the near future to do another video on this, I'm sure we can go over, more and in more detail. But really, the only thing that I wanted to say is just that, it's almost, obviously it's a pretty new ship, released in, I believe, 2019. For the Chinese market, and then China market, and that didn't work out, obviously. But I really like the way they rebranded this. It feels like a brand new ship, and you've got all the excitement of a new ship. You've got all these different options of food, beverages, venues, shows. So it really is, a new ship, even though it's not. And I think it's got a lot of people excited. I know I'm excited. I can't wait to go on it or the sister ship that's going to be out of California next year, which I'm sure they'll have a lot of the same in that ship, maybe different names and stuff like that for the venues, but a lot of the same drinks and food. But just great having another Vista ship in, in Carnival's fleet, and two once the other ship comes. So lots of great options for people, and I think it's going to be exciting. So I can't wait to hear all the feedback from, the creators that are on it now and in the near future, and I can't wait to get it on it myself. So
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, when I do go on it, like you said, it's like a new ship. So people that haven't been on, a cruise in a long time, or maybe they're trying out a new line or something like that. That's kind of the excitement, is trying some of the things that you heard about that sound so good to you, and this definitely offers that new experience for Carnival cruisers. And like as I just mentioned, Amanda and Josh with Have Luggage Will Travel, because I know they were just got off the Celebration. But that's one of the things that Celebration offers. They offer a lot of new things that you can't get on every Carnival ship, which is a nice experience, just like the Mardi Gras, obviously. So this Venezia is doing a lot of that. Even though, like you mentioned, it's not a brand new ship, but it feels like a brand new ship because of the things that it offers. And the last thing I want to ask you is, Andrew and I are going to collaborate, except this one will be on his channel in the near future. He has an idea for a video. So you want to share that idea, and then, and again, subscribe to Andrew's channel, and that way hit the notifications. And when this idea comes about, you'll be able to catch the show live.
Yeah, no, I just, first of all, I appreciate it. But second of all, we've collaborated quite a few videos at this point, always sharing and bouncing ideas off each other, which is really cool. And that motivates me. But our channel, I really like to believe that we help a lot of maybe first-time cruisers or cruisers that haven't cruised in a while, like you were just talking about. So my idea was to maybe have like a live video, like 2 weeks out or so, try to get some, snowball effect going where people can just pop in. They don't even necessarily have to subscribe, but they just ask questions. I'd love to be able to say, hey, this person cruised for the first time, or first time in a long time because of us, because we maybe answered some questions that they were a little nervous about or just didn't know. And, we'll come up with 10 questions each, kind of the most asked questions that you kind of see, thrown around. I'm sure, is the Cheers package worth it going to be on there? But I think it'll be good. And I think it'll be a video that people can come back to. And, if people like it, we can do it maybe, once every 2 weeks or whatever the case is. Because I know a lot of people, cruising is back. It's back in a big way. Every single, time John Heel posts the guest count, there's a ton of first-time cruisers on there for Carnival at least. So I think it would be good, for the community in itself. So I'm excited to do it.
Yeah, and so a point you just brought up right there that I didn't think about, but you're right. There's a ton of new cruises. There's a ton of blue cards, but there's also a ton of platinum cards and even a lot more diamond cards now, when those used to be pretty rare, which goes to show not only are the cruising industry gaining new cruisers, but they're retaining the cruisers that they had all the time. So cruising is not going away. those of you that invest in the stock market and the cruise lines or whatever, you know, I guess that should say, hey, you know, like, I mean, I know Warren Buffett, he said, you know, look at what people are buying, you know, what you like, and, you know, invest in that, right? That's a very simplistic way of what basically what he says. But when I go on cruise ships, I go on Carnival, for example, they're packed and people are spending money. And, you know, as Andrew and I were talking about, you know, the cost of cruises are getting more expensive again and things like that. So, like, eventually, whatever, you know, I mean, obviously they suffered tremendously during the pandemic and lost billions of dollars, but it seems like things are turning around for them, and everybody in the cruise industry, you know, Royal, Norwegian, everybody. It seems like things are getting better for everybody, and cruising is gaining in popularity. It's not diminishing; it's gaining in popularity. So it's a good travel industry to be in for sure. Ricky says the pictures from John Halen Island time are beautiful of the Venezia. Yes, absolutely. So I'll tell you what, everybody. I know there's still some people hanging around, and thank you so much because we went way over 15 minutes. But there was so much to talk about the Venezia. Thank everybody for joining. If you could do the big favor, if you haven't already hit that like button before you close out the channel or whatever, if you could hit that like button, much appreciated. Thank Andrew again for joining me here. I will just have one more live in studio here. That will be next Tuesday. And then after that, I'm going to be doing my best Have Luggage Will Travel impersonation and try to do a live or two on the Carnival celebration for you. So that'll be next for me. But next week, one more time here, and then we'll be on the celebration. So, Andrew, thank you again. Everybody else out there, you know, thank you for joining again. Hit that like button and the subscribe, definitely, if you haven't. Check out Andrew's channel and subscribe to him as well. And we'll see you all next week. All right, take care, everybody. Have a great week.
Have a good one.